Stigma of the Wind or Kaze no Stigma, Hepburn, Kaze no Sutiguma, lit. Stigma of the Wind is a Japanese light novel series written by Takahiro Yamato and illustrated by Hanamaru Nanto. After the death of the author on July 20, 2009, the story remains incomplete at 11 volumes. A 24-episode anime adaptation directed by Junichi Sakata and animated by Gonzo aired from April–September 2007. It has been dubbed in English by Animax Asia under the title Stigma of the Wind and by Funimation as Kaze no Stigma. Plot: Kazuma Kannagi was the eldest son of the Kannagi family and presumed heir. However, due to his inability to use Ninjutsu, the power to control flames, he was considered to be useless within his family. Despite his inability to wield fire, his father insisted on him competing for the right to wield Inriha, a sword that was wielded by the family heir. The 18-year-old Kazuma was soundly defeated by 14-year-old Ayano Kannagi, his second cousin, and banished from the family. 4 years later, he returned as a master of Fujutsu, the power to control wind, and with a new name, Kazuma Yagami. Soon after his return, several Kannagi family members were killed and the murder weapon is revealed to be Fujutsu. Kazuma is presumed to have committed the murders in revenge for his banishment. As a result, he is confronted by various members of his former family and forced to fight to prove his innocence. The only person he wants to fight is his father, the strongest Ninjutsu user. Kazuma defeats his father in a duel. After the fight, he goes back to his hotel and finds his brother, Ren Kannagi, at his hotel room. After losing his brother to a powerful demon, he goes to the Kannagi household and convinces the current head of the family that he is innocent. He is reunited with Ayano and his younger brother, Ren, who is also gifted in ninjutsu, although things get off on the wrong foot when Ayano, believing that Kazuma to be guilty, attacks him without warning. Kazuma happens to be a contractor, having entered into a contract with the Kaze no Sureoe. Due to this, Kazuma is able to draw upon all wind spirits in the atmosphere, which amplifies his inherent powers, and allows him to heal his wounds. When using this power, his eyes turn azure blue. However, this ability puts a strain on his body, as it is his stamina and will that limit the amount of power that is used. When Kazuma is extremely angry, his eyes turn crimson red and his wind turns black and he is able to read minds. In this state, he has no qualms in hurting others with his abilities, as long as he gets what he wants. However, when in this state, his overall powers seem to be weaker because, as stated by Ayano, he is drawing only on a few emotions and is not in complete control of his powers. When Ayano helps him snap out of his rage, he states that his black wind is pathetic. At one point Ayano states that she was never afraid of him in his normal state, as he is so overwhelmingly strong, her fear seemed pointless. When she realizes that she fears his black wind, she knows she has a chance of defeating him, because that fear means that his power is no longer godlike. It is later revealed that after Kazuma was banished from his family, his only desire was achieving great power. He traveled to a small town in China, where he caused all kinds of trouble until he met Sui Ling, with whom he fell in love and eventually lived with. This brought about a change in Kazuma as he was content with his life, he no longer desired power and was happy just living with her. He also took up a job as a freelancer, doing simple odd jobs. His happiness, however, came to an abrupt end when an organization used Sui Ling as a sacrifice to summon a powerful demon. Blaming himself for failing to protect her, Kazuma once again sought out great power, leading to his engaging in a contract with the Wind Spirit Lord. Sometime after becoming a contractor, he killed the one responsible for Sui Ling's death. Later, 2 years prior to the series beginning, Kazuma made a name for himself as the demon-like Wind Mage, who did not hesitate to hurt others as long as his task was completed. However, his personality began to turn for the good once again after returning to Japan and meeting Ayano. Near the end of the anime, he admits that he could now love another person besides Sui Ling and comes to realize that he is actually in love with Ayano. In the light novel, it is revealed that shortly after Sui Ling's death, Kazuma attempted to commit suicide, but was saved at the last moment by a traveling Taoist Zenon, the Immortal felt the potential within Kazuma and brought Kazuma to his mountain where Kazuma spent the next year and a half in training. Lee Lonryu, another one of the Taoist's disciples, believed that, with more training, Kazuma had the potential to become an immortal like them. However, Kazuma refused the offer, as he found immortality to be pointless and boring, instead opting to leave the mountain when he felt ready to carry out his vengeance. Protagonists Kazuma Yagami, voiced by Daisuke Kono, Akino Watanabe, Robert McCollum, the male protagonist of the series. Born Kazuma Kannagi, he is a former member of the Kannagi household. He was banished from the family by his father and changed his name to Kazuma Yagami after being defeated by Ayano during the successor ceremony for Inriha, his family's sacred sword, due to his inability to use Ninjutsu. In the light novel it is mentioned that Kazuma was found to have great potential in all other jutsu. 4 years later, at the age of 22, he returns to Japan as the most powerful master of far jutsu to have ever existed, possessing godlike powers. As a far jutsushi, Kazuma's powers are extensive and he is by far the most powerful character in the series. Apart from being able to fly even while holding 3 people, Kazuma can also launch blasts of wind that act as blades and manipulate wind spirits to create a barrier, protecting his body from physical harm or reflecting light in order to camouflage himself. It has also become apparent that he possibly has the ability to manipulate electricity. In the series he tries to avenge Tsui Ling's death because he blames himself for not protecting her. Towards the end of the series he becomes aware of the fact that he loves Ayano and vows to protect her. Ayano Kannagi, voiced by Amy Fujimura, Cherami Lee, the female protagonist of the series. 18-year-old Ayano is a skilled Enjutsushi, and the named successor to the Kannagi family head. She is arrogant and impetuous, usually taking action by herself even while going against orders. Though she seems undisciplined, she believes deeply in her heritage, and more than once served as the voice of reason and drawn Kazuma back to action or sanity. Though cocky and thoughtless on the surface, she is self-conscious and sometimes unsure. She looks to others for guidance and simultaneously feels that she should not, responding yearningly to approval and affection. Though she finds his arrogance and teasing abrasive, Ayano develops a crush on Kazuma but is easily flustered when he flirts with her, irritated due to his habit of taunting her immediately afterward, and is prone to unjustified indignance when he gets close to another woman. She later comes to realize that she is actually in love with him. Kazuma is the only person she sees as stronger in power and presence than even her own father. Ayano's power is the crimson flame called Kawen, but she is not yet able to consciously control it. She also wields Inriha, the Kannagi's sacred sword, which she won by defeating Kazuma at the successor ceremony 4 years before the start of the story. The sword has fire properties and can be summoned by Ayano at any time. During combat, Ayano tends to fight recklessly and normally her anger and pride gets the better of her. Kazuma beats her in almost every encounter and points out the deficiencies in her fighting style, not that she appreciates it. During their penultimate fight, she berates him furiously for falling for tricks that he taught her. Many times, her power has helped her get Kazuma out of trouble. She gets irritated mostly when Kazuma crosses the line in flirting with her. In the end of the anime, Ayano tries to comfort Kazuma after hearing Tsui Ling's last thoughts. After expressing some deep thoughts and emotions to Kazuma in an attempt to comfort him, Ayano turns her back to him. Kazuma then uses his power to blow her hair back towards him, then grabs it and holds it up to his lips, causing Ayano to blush. Kazuma then pats her ear, which startles Ayano, and she falls into a nearby pond in which she gets flustered and causes the water to boil. The last scene of the anime concludes with Ayano chasing Kazuma with Inriha around the Kannagi family area, while a majority of the other main characters enjoy a meal with each other inside one of the Kannagi homes while they watch Kazuma and Ayano outside. Ren Kannagi, voiced by Rika Morinaga, Josh Grell, Kazuma's younger brother and the secondary protagonist of the series. He looks up to Ayano and practically worships Kazuma, stating that one day he hopes to be as strong as him. Ren has the appearance of a Bishinen, which sometimes earns him the contempt of some of his male classmates. Even so, Ren appears to be very popular at his school, excelling in his studies and athletics. His closest friends are Kornan Suzaira and Tatsuya Shirazawa. Unlike other members of the Kannagi family, Ren never rejected Kazuma for his inability to master fire magic and has always considered him family. In turn, Kazuma cares for Ren deeply and never hesitates to save Ren when he finds himself in danger. Ren later falls in love with a girl named Amy, only to find out that she is just a clone created to be sacrificed in a ritual. Even after saving her from the ritual, she still dies due to having a short lifespan, but not before she tells him that she also loves him. Despite Ren's feelings of inadequacy early on in the series, Amy's death inspires Ren to become stronger so that he can protect the ones he loves. Ren's power is the Golden Flame, said to have the greatest purification effect. Kannagi family Genma Kannagi, voiced by Rukia Koyama, Mark Stoddard, Ren and Kazuma's strict father. Though he is responsible for banishing Kazuma from the Kannagi family, he only wanted his son to find his own path in life. Like Kazuma, Genma has trouble expressing his feelings in front of others. In fact, the both of them are so headstrong that every time they meet, they immediately break out into a destructive battle. Though Kazuma defeats him in their first battle in years, Genma is the strongest Enjutsushi of the Kannagis, and wields the Blue Divine Flame, Zaien, which only 11 others have wielded since the founding of the clan. Despite their similarities, neither Genma nor Kazuma are willing to admit the similarities they have with each other. Like many members of the Kannagi, Genma looks down on the Faga clan and wind users in general. When Kazuma goes berserk near the end of the series, Genma is the first to volunteer to assassinate his disinherited son. Jago Kannagi, voiced by Masaki Terasama, are Bruce Elliott, Ayano's father and Genma's cousin. He is the current head of the Kannagi family. Jago worries about his headstrong daughter. Contrary to the typical Kannagi doctrine that places merit solely on strength, Jago has been trying to stop discrimination against not only the Faga clan but the users of other jutsus as well. He also regrets not being able to stop Kazuma's expulsion from the family. Believing that Kazuma is essential to the Kannagis, he constantly creates situations which force Ayano and Kazuma to work together in the hopes that they form a relationship. There appears to exist mutual respect between Jago and Kazuma. As the head of the Kannagi family, Jago is responsible for directing the other members of the head family and branch families as well as the Faga clan. In the series, Jago is never seen leaving the Kannagi compound, and rarely even leaves his meeting room. He is technically the strongest Enjutsushi of the Kannagi and wields the Purple Flame, but due to his mobility being hampered by a leg injury suffered in a car accident, he cedes that title to Genma. Tsuwabuki family Kurei Tsuwabuki, voiced by Mami Koshuge, Lydia Makai, older daughter of the Tsuwabuki family, who are skilled shijutsushi. During her father's absence due to illness, she becomes the head of the Tsuwabuki family. Zenon, the behemoth of Mount Fuji, secretly stripped her powers as a shijutsushi but gave her alternate gravity-altering powers instead. Like Kazuma, she was ostracized for her lack of power by her family. She is later killed by Zenon in a fit of rage. It is notable that once Zenon's restriction was lifted from her, Kurei's earth power was of an extremely high level as seen in her fight with Zenon. Mayumi Tsuwabuki, voiced by Eri Miyajima, Lucy Christian, younger daughter of the Tsuwabuki family. Her clone, Amy, is used as the sacrifice in Taisai, the ritual of taming the behemoth within Mount Fuji every 30 years preventing the volcano from erupting. The ritual involves claiming the life of a shijutsushi, who is usually a member of the Tsuwabuki family, since 300 years ago. Due to Kurei's influence, she is a cold, heartless woman, from her portrayal and behavior towards her clone. She later feels remorse after Amy's sacrifice. Amy Tsuwabuki, voiced by Kaneko Sakai, Lucy Christian, the clone of Mayumi Tsuwabuki. Although she has the appearance of a 12-year-old, she is only a month old. According to Mayumi, She had been implanted with random memories from Amy and has a lifespan of about 2 months. Using the treasure of the Pixies, which is an egg that will hatch into the tribal leader of the Pixies, Amy's growth is accelerated, so that within 1 month, she grew 12 years. She falls in love with Ren. She sacrifices her life to weaken Zenon, so that Kazuma, Ren, and Ayano could destroy Zenon. Supporting characters Kirika Tachibana, voiced by Sayaka Owara, Colleen Klinkenbeard, a detective working for the Tokyo MPD's Special Investigation Unit. She in charge of investigating crimes related to jutsu. She occasionally works with Kazuma. Her department aims to become the new partner of the Kannagi family, filling the gap made by the Faga clan's betrayal. To that end, they assist the OEGAMIS by investigating and tracking other users of jutsu. She is later revealed to be an onmyoji, a practitioner of the yin-yang arts who can cast spells through chants and charms. It is revealed that she had met Kazuma 2 years prior and that after they parted, she had wished to never see him again. Yukari Shinomiya, voiced by Yuka Inoguchi, Kate Oxley. Yukari is one of Ayano's best friends and classmates. Yukari, along with Nanase, often teases Ayano about her apparent crush on Kazuma. She is well connected to the underground information network of the student body and often knows what is happening around the school. Yukari's information extends beyond the school and into many areas of the Tokyo metropolis. Nanase Kuda, voiced by Shizuka Ika, Brina Palencia. Nanase is another of Ayano's best friends and classmates. She and Yukari know about the existence of Jutsushi. Nanase is also a very athletic student, who is part of many of their school's athletic clubs, and is respected by many of the female students. Takia Oegami, voiced by Takitra, Vic McNona, a member of the Kannagi. Takia always acted with a calm and level head. He and his partner were sent out to bring Kazuma in for questioning in the matter of the murders of the Kannagi. His partner attacked Kazuma, who defended himself and knocked the two of them unconscious. This allowed Ryaya to kill both of them. Takia was considered to be a powerful fire user by the family, but he was unprepared to face Kazuma. Misho Oegami, voiced by Kana Ueda, Monica Real, the younger sister of Takia, who was the only person who was kind to her. 10 years ago, she saved Kazuma from being bullied. Although a kind person at heart, Misho blames Kazuma for her brother's death and makes multiple attempts to kill him, even going so far as to hire a sniper. All of her attempts fail and, lost in despair, she becomes a pawn in Michael's plan to take Kazuma down. In the end, Kazuma convinces her to atone for her sins by living on, and she is instructed by Jago to retire to a convent. Tsui Ling, voiced by Yui Makino, Leah Clark, the girl from Kazuma's past whom he could not protect. She was sacrificed by the head of the Armagest, Owen Lsar, to summon a demon. Rhodes used a spell to gather her remaining essence into a being called Lapis. Before her sacrifice, she and Kazuma worked in a restaurant and were in love. In the last episode, Lapis states that her last thoughts were that she wished Kazuma was dead. Whether this is the truth or a lie meant to cause Kazuma pain is unknown. As Lapis, she is trained in anti-mage fighting. Catherine MacDonald, voiced by Shiaki Takahashi. Caitlin Glass, a member of an American family of Injutsushi, especially skilled in creating and controlling spirit beasts to harness flames. She originally came to Japan to defeat Ayano and take her family's sacred treasure, Inriha, but decided to stay after she was defeated. She develops feelings for Kazuma after he trains her for her second fight against Ayano. She manipulates myriads of spirits into a single virtual persona to grasp tremendous power. While seemingly capable of creating different spirit beasts, her favorite is Metatron, an angel-like statue equipped with a sword. Kazuma has observed and mentioned that her fighting style is similar to Ayano's, referring to their simplistic and direct attacks, which lack strategy or tactics. As Ayano's rival in Enjutsushi and for Kazuma's love, Catherine refuses to be beaten in either. Lee Loneu, despite the fact that he appears to be a Bishianen of similar age to Ren, and his claim of being a Taoist in training, He is, in reality, a Taoist immortal whose age can be measured in centuries. Lonryu came to Japan to retrieve artifacts stolen from his master, befriending Ren along the way. After recovering the lost artifacts, he opted to stay in Japan because he was bored. Lonryu, like Kazuma, teases and manipulates others in order to accomplish his goals. Lonryu has the ability to control and manipulate his surroundings that will due his mastery of the way of Tao. His true powers are never revealed, but Kazuma is shown to be genuinely afraid of fighting Lonryu again, since Lonryu is the first opponent against whom Kazuma has lost a fight since his training ended. Even though he has become a contractor, Kazuma is not confident in winning against him. Lonryu has only appeared in the Kaze no Stigma, Ignition side stories. Cornan Suzera, voiced by Amy Tsuji, Jad Saxton. Cornan is Ren's classmate who has a romantic interest in him. Despite having quite a pushy and bratty attitude at times, Cornan is shown to have a very caring personality, except when it comes to competing with Tatsuya for Ren's attention. Tatsuya Serizawa, voiced by Jun Fukuyama, Todd Abercorn, he is another of Ren's classmates and also his friend. He and Cornan always fight to stay with Ren. In Tatsuya's case, to do things that friends do, and in Cornan's case, to do things that couples do. Yuan, Xiaolai, known as the Yuan Prince, Xiaolai is a Fujitsu practitioner from China belonging to the Yuan family, a famous family of wind mages, and is the holder of Kokusen, the sacred treasure of the wind. The Yuan family was wiped out by evil mages who wishes to obtain the 4 sacred treasures of spirit world. When the family refused to cooperate, they were slaughtered, leaving a 13-year-old Xiaolai as the only survivor. Xiaolai came to Japan to form an alliance with the Kannagis and so gain revenge. It is later revealed that Xiaolai is actually female. Kazuma and Ayano help her deal with her pain, and at the end of the novel, Kazuma uses his contractor powers to save her from dying. Antagonists Ryaya Kazumaki, voiced by Dai Matsumoto, Christopher Sabat, son of Yu Kazumaki, leader of the Faga clan, which served the Kannagi for the last 300 years. In an elaborate plot to release the Faga clan's ancient master and take revenge on the Kannagi for the humiliation received since then, Ryaya's body becomes the host for a powerful Yoma. After Ryaya engages Kazuma and Ayano, the Yoma fully emerges, and takes complete control of Ryaya's body and mind in order to unleash its full power. Eventually, Ryaya and the Yoma were killed in a joint attack by Kazuma and Ayano. Michael Harley, voiced by Eri Kitamura, Joel McDonald, a young boy from the Stars of Sagacity, an organization related to Kazuma's past and Tsui Ling's death. He uses Misho's anger at Kazuma and promised to grant her wishes. In truth, he only uses her as a medium, in order to obtain enough yoki, or life energy, to kill Kazuma. After creating a dragon with Misho's collected life energy, he attacks Kazuma, Ayano and Ren, but is ultimately destroyed by Ayano's Shinin-empowered Inriha. Bernhardt Rhodes, voiced by Knu Horauchi, John Swayze, the chairman of Armagest, a powerful organization of modern magic users. He holds a grudge against Kazuma for killing his master, Erwin Lsar, the man who sacrificed Tsui Ling. Lapis, voiced by Yui Makino, Leah Clark, the entity that was made in Tsui Ling's image by Bernhardt. Lapis carries a big crystal broadsword, but wields it with ease, and is able to match Ayano in a sword duel. It is revealed in episode 21 of the anime that Lapis has a heart, so she can feel the joy in hurting others, among other emotions. Terminology: Spirit Technique Practitioner. The spirit arts are split into elements such as fire, wind, earth, and water. Blaze Technique. The fire arts are most effective for combat. Users of Injutsu are known as Enjutsushi and can draw upon flame spirits. The Kannagi and MacDonald clans are two famous Injutsu user families from Japan and America, respectively. Common powers include emitting fireballs. Inriha, a sacred sword with fire properties, given to the successor of the Kannagi family. It was supposedly given to the Kannagi by the Honen no Sureoi. Ayano won the right to carry it when she defeated Kazuma at the succession ceremony 4 years ago and is able to summon the sword whenever she pleases. Should it be flung from her hand, it can materialize there again. Later in the series, Kazuma is shown to be able to use his contractor powers on Inriha to temporarily allow the sword to possess the blue divine flame, Zawen. Blaze Spirit King, the founder of the Kannagi clan, originally entered into a contract with him 1,000 years ago, and the Kannagi family derives their strength from his power. Fire of Purification. The Fire of Purification has the power to exorcise Yama from their hosts or environment. The Kannagi clan is in charge of purifying and eradicating evil Yama in Japan, due to their contract with the Flame Spirit Lord. Ren Kannagi, who uses the Golden Flame, is said to have the largest purification effect. Wind Technique. The wind arts are most effective for reconnaissance, but as Kazuma has shown, they are also quite effective for combat. Unlike Injutsu users, wind users have a much faster summoning ability. Users of Fajutsu are known as Fajutsushi and can draw upon the wind spirits. Fajutsushi are able to conceal their own presence and are better at detecting elemental users. The Faga clan of Fajutsushi served the Kannagi for 300 years, but was eliminated in the course of plotting revenge for their subjugation. Wind Spirit King, the Wind Spirit Lord, whom Kazuma has entered into a contract with. Wind of Purification. The Wind of Purification, just like the Fire of Purification, has the power to exorcise Yama from their hosts or environment. The only person who can use the Winds of Purification in the series is Kazuma, who had made a contract with the Wind Spirit Lord. Though not in the same league in terms of power of the Fire of Purification, the Wind of Purification has a greater area of effect than that of fire. Kokusen, a Jinji given by the Wind Spirit King. Kokusen is a spear-shaped weapon that can amplify one's ability in Fajutsu. Where Inriha is the great elemental weapon for fire, Kokusen is the great elemental weapon for wind. It first appeared in Volume 6 of the novel, where it refused its current wielder after Kazuma, who is a wind contractor, wielded it. Wind Fang Clan. Earth Technique. Users of Shijutsu are called Shijutsushi. The Tsurubuki clan is known as the most powerful of Shijutsushi. Common attacks are making spikes rise from the ground, and creating earthquakes. Water Arts. The Water Arts, known as Suijutsu, are said to be strong against Injutsu. However, it is completely erased when up against a higher level Injutsu user. Spirit Beasts. A spirit familiar is a large number of spirits who have been coalesced into a physical form. Contractor. A contractor is a person who enters into a contract with a spirit lord. That contract grants the user the power to call upon all the spirits in the atmosphere or even tap into the power of the spirit lord itself. Contractors are said to have the most power, but their use of it is very limited, as that great power would put a strain on their body. In most cases, a portion of the powers of the contractor would last through their lineage to future generations. Special Information Storage Room. Jinji, an item given by a Spirit King. It can amplify one's power to the extent of a contractor. Elixir, an extremely rare substance which is said to be the ultimate product of alchemy. It heals any injury inflicted upon a person, as well as clear the body of all supernatural afflictions. Kazuma was only able to obtain a small amount of elixir, which he used to save Ayano. Yama are demons that appear throughout the story. They can possess people and give them power while devouring their souls. They are considered to be evil spirits and are used in evil ways by some Jutsushi. Most Yuma do not have names as they are not of great importance. Slime, Yuma in the form of a slime. They cover people and absorb their life energy. Belial, the strongest of all Yuma. Its hand was summoned for a few seconds by Bernhardt via Lapis from the sacrifice of the seeds in order to destroy Tokyo and bring Kazuma despair. However, it was prevented from doing so by the combined powers of Kazuma's contractor attack, Ayano's God Flame, and Ren's Flame of Purification. Media. Light novel Kaze no Stigma began as a light novel series, written by Takahiro Yamato and illustrated by Hanamaru Nanto, serialized in the Japanese seinen light novel magazine Dragon Magazine, published by Fujimi Shoba, a subsidiary of Kadokawa Shoten. It began serialization in January 2002, and as of April 2007, is still running. 11 bound volumes have been published to 6 main volumes and 5 short story compilations. The latest main volume was released on October 20, 2005, and the latest short story volume went on sale in Japan in December 2007. It was reported that the author of the light novels, Takahiro Yamato, had died on July 20, 2009, leaving the series incomplete. Manga A manga series illustrated by Neko Miyake began serialization in the Japanese shonen manga magazine Monthly Dragon Age on April 9, 2007. As of March 6, 2008, 2 bound volumes have been published by Fujimi Shoba. Anime Gonzo's Kaze no Stigma animated TV series aired on Japanese broadcasting channels between April 11, 2007 and September 20, 2007, containing 24 episodes. It aired in a late-night slot. The series was directed by Junichi Sakata. The first DVD release of Kaze no Stigma was released on August 24, 2007. It was released by Funimation in 2009 starting with Part 1. The anime's opening theme is Blast of Wind performed by Sori Kuji, lyrics by Shoaki Ishikawa and Mizuko Kumuro, composed by Kazumi Maito and Akino Arai. The first ending theme is Hito Rikiri no Sora by Sori Kuji and the second ending theme is Matataki no Kiwaka by Amy Fujimura, Yuka I no Kuchi and Shizuka Ika. The series has been licensed by Funimation Entertainment in North America and released its first volume in 2009. Animax Asia also produced an English dub titled Stigma of the Wind, which aired starting May 19, 2010. The major difference between the novel and the anime is the significantly darker tone in the novels. The character of Kazuma is much darker in the novels, which depicts him mercilessly killing most of the antagonistic characters. In the anime, Kazuma is usually depicted as only injuring or incapacitating his opponents, while their actual deaths are usually the result of their own schemes backfiring on them. Some scenes involving gruesome deaths were simply excluded from the anime. Role-playing game A Kaze no Stigma RPG, published by Fujimi Shoba, went on sale in Japan in June 2007. The game is designed by Kiyomiya Miwa, and uses the standard RPG system. References. External links, official website from Funimation, official website at Gonzo, Kaze no Stigma at Anime News Network's Encyclopedia, ANN Review Part 1, ANN Review Part 2.